welcome to Movie Reedviews with me, Cody Reed. So today I'm reviewing Everest. It's the new movie about these hikers climbing to Everest, and it stars Josh Brolin, Jason Clarke, and Jake Gyllenhaal, along with a few others that you might recognize, but those are the three main people. So this movie is based on true events that happened in 1996. It's about these two men who are leaders of their own groups, consisting of like clients, basically people who just want to hike Everest. And so you have Jason Clarke, who plays Rob Hall. He's this more like strict and protective guy of his clients, and he really wants to make sure that they're protected, even if they don't make it to Everest, like the top of it. He wants to make sure they're protected all the way. And then you have Jake Gyllenhaal, who's this other leader, Scott Fisher, who is a little more free with his clients, and he figures that, hey, if they want to hike Everest, they don't need so much hand-holding. Josh Brolin plays one of the main guys, one of the main clients of Rob Hall, Jason Clarke. And so he wants to hike Everest, and he's doing it for other reasons. If you're wondering if this is a movie made to make people want to go to Everest, you couldn't be more wrong. It is not a propaganda film for Everest. I mean, it just makes me want to go home and watch Netflix and eat some potato chips or something. Because one of the strengths of the movie is it does a good job of explaining the why of why it's so hard to hike Everest. I mean, there's a lot to, personally overcome, and physically and mentally. And so, they explain these whys throughout the movie, but it's not boring. It really helps you understand why it's important to have that preparation beforehand. Also, the movie has beautiful cinematography. It has great shots of like the landscape and the outdoors, Everest itself. It basically makes Everest its own character in the movie. And speaking of characters, as far as the human characters go, they aren't that memorable. I mean, for most of the movie, I couldn't even really remember their names. You do get to learn a little bit about their background as they go on this journey up and down the mountain. They have to go to these different checkpoints, so you do get to learn a little bit about them, but they aren't that fleshed out. And the story itself, I mean, it's pretty basic. It's these hikers going up to Everest and going down, and what kind of trials they have and the weather. So the story and the characters are probably the weakest part, but there are other aspects to this movie that are good, like the thrills and the suspense that happens in the movie, as well as that cinematography. Yeah, so aside from the characters who are kind of like one note, like examples, Rob is strict and Scott is like a free guy, kind of like hippie-ish. So besides that, the thrills are there. When there is thrills and suspense, you really feel it. Sometimes it's really hard to see and hear what's going on, like from the wind or the snow going, but that's on purpose, is because of those elements. And this movie is kind of like a deathly road trip movie. So you have these people on this journey, let's see what happens on the journey, and there are going to be people who die, but you don't know who. There's several big name actors, so it's kind of hard to pinpoint, oh, this person's safe or this person's not. So, it's kind of like a guessing game of who's going to die off in the movie. And then as far as the thrills go, there were several times in the movie where I was going, nope, 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 like to what they were doing, whether it's like hiking across this ravine or going on this rickety bridge, or there's like this avalanche coming, and I was just like, nope, nope, I'd rather just stay inside. If you're still deciding whether to see this movie or not, I think the trailers do a pretty good depiction of what the movie will be like, since the story's pretty straightforward. So if you like the trailers for it, or if you like survival movies or watching people battle the elements and those type of movies, you'll probably like this one too. So to sum it up, I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed this movie. It had great cinematography, thrills, tension. I really enjoyed those parts of the movie. It's just the characters and the story are just kind of, meh, whatever. I mean, the hikers are hiking Everest, but if you enjoy that type of journey, you'll like this one. You know the drill. Make sure to like, comment, share this video, please, and make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'd love to have you here. And then lastly, I'm always open to questions at moviereedviews@gmail.com. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.
Mr. Freeze here. Why don't you just chill and go watch Everest because it's icy, makes you icy cold, lots of puns. I'm gonna give this movie 4 out of 7 icicles.
And speaking of characters, as far as the human character goes, they aren't that memorable. You do get to learn a bit. That's great. And speaking of characters, as far as the human characters go, they aren't that memorable. I mean, whoa.